Hello and welcome to Songs Brew. I'm Zara.
I'm Julia, and today we're gonna talk a little bit more about music and, in general, remixes and whether they are lazy or not.
Yes, I think I have a mixed opinion. In fact, I know I have a mixed opinion on them. And I think I might be more of a features girl than a remix person. And especially as when we were writing it, we were going through all of the remixes over the last few years. And I do like some of them, but I don't love them.
Yeah, same. I have a strong mixed feelings here because when I hear a song that's getting a remix, I'm like a little bit skeptical about it. And usually I feel like it's not actually needed. If I like the original song, then I'm like, it doesn't need to be remixed at all. But then I'm like, when I hear some of the remixes, I'm like, okay, they are really great. They are not lazy. They are actually great, and they can be better than original at some cases.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not, so I think my issue with remixes is it's like I think it falls into the same category. I don't like spoof movies either. You know, when they take something and like they make it like a ha. I don't like that. I think that's lazy as well. And I think that's I have an issue with the creative process, which makes me not like the end result, regardless of whether it might be good or not. So I think I have
Yeah.
a really, yeah, I think I have a clouded view, which
Yeah.
isn't great.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I think I'm more like you. Like I like features better than basically remixes, but I do have this one remix that I think you're not gonna love because it's like I think 9 minutes long or something like that. So it can feel like lazy, but perhaps to me it has like this sentimental value because my dad showed me this song and he never listened to the original song. He found out the remix when I was like little and he showed me that, and then I like immediately fall in love with that. And to this day I'm listening to the song. It's Mr. Brightside by the Killers, by the way.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I do actually love the original song. I love this song, and it has like this sentimental value for me because my dad showed me that and he loved it. So me too. But I also love the remix, which is like 9 minutes long. It's slowed version, but it was the first remix that I think I've heard in my life, and I could remember actually. And before I found out that this was a remix, I was listening to it and then I was like, oh, but there's like another version of the song. At first, I was thinking that the original song was a remix of the remix that I was listening to.
Yes, I think we actually made that point in the article as well. A lot of the remixes, the most popular ones over the last few years, we've heard the remix before the original because the remix did stuff that the original just didn't. I think we used Lana Del Rey as one of the examples, Summertime Sadness. The original release didn't do, I mean, her fans, of course, they listened, but I never heard that one. I heard the remix first. And so to me, I think on those occasions, the remix for me, because I heard them first, is the original,
Yeah, I
but
know.
it's not.
Yeah, it's mixed, right? Yeah,
Yes.
but I do get that point. Yeah, so I strongly have like mixed opinion on this topic. It's really difficult for me to decide whether I think that the remixes are lazy or not because at some point I believe that they are and they could be lazy. But on the other hand, I have this feeling that they can sometimes do better job and add this specific value to the whole song that couldn't be found earlier at this point.
Yeah, no, I agree. But that I think some of also my thing is when remixes used to be, and we mentioned this, the original one sometimes had like profanity, swearing, whatever that you wouldn't want on the radio. So there was a
Yeah.
clean edit for the radio. So you'd be singing along, not understand, like there'd be gaps or they'd replace the words. And then you have one for like a dance remix or drum and bass or whatever remix for a club. And I kind of like I do not mind a club mix, and maybe it's because to me it sounds very, very different. And usually, a DJ, a named DJ, has done it, and they bring something. I think a technical skill to it, or like the value that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
you just mentioned. I think they add something really cool to it. I don't know if we need full albums like The Cure, and each of their songs was remixed by three different people.
Oh
I
yeah, that's for
don't
sure.
I
No,
don't know
I
if we
hate
need that.
it. I believe that one remix of the song is actually enough. I don't need many more. And I do hate when I want to look like listen to a remix song because I've heard it somewhere, let's say shopping mall or I don't know, gym, whatever. And then I'm like pasting the name of the song plus remix, and then I have like 20 or even more songs remixed, and I don't know which one is that, and then I have to go through all of them to find the exactly remix that I actually liked and I want to listen and add to my playlist. So that sucks.
Yes, it does. And I don't know if it's true, but I read earlier that Old Town Road, there's the one remix that we all know, which is the one that features Billy Ray Cyrus. But apparently there's 30 other remixes that came about because it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
So apparently, so I had never heard the original. Of course, I heard the remix. I heard it on TikTok, and I saw like people were doing dances and all that kind of stuff to it. I didn't know there was that many remixes, but apparently because that remix did so well on TikTok, it
People
ended up with
decided to
that.
go with remix.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
30 different. That's
I
too
feel like
much.
sometimes it can be just like marketing tool at some point. Obviously it is, because when you feature like other celebrities, artists, music artists, which are huge, then the song gets more views. It's getting more popular because you have one or two big names into it. And it's like, yeah, I have to listen to it because it has pictures of this artist. But
Yeah.
then, yeah, I don't get a point about remixing the remix.
Yeah, that to me, I lose, I don't know, and yeah, I kind of lose respect a little bit for the artist. This is going to sound terrible because I understand that a certain amount of the rights are not even like it's not theirs. The record label, they kind of own the rights to things and they'll just put things out for it to be remixed and stuff. So half of me thinks, okay, so it's not really the artist's fault when people take the work and do these 30, 40, whatever remixes. But part of me thinks surely they do have a say in that. And what do they gain from having 30? Not does it not dilute the original work massively?
Yeah.
Or does it just make it 30 times more powerful and go to 30 times the audience? And I don't think it does go to 30 times the audience because the people who want to listen to it are already listening to it. I don't see the value.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really
me
struggle with
too.
remix.
Same. Yeah, I think that once the remix gets like really popular and it's on top on all the charts and that kind of stuff, then there's like I think no point at remixing it already, which was already remixed, you know what I mean? Because it's not gonna add any new value. People are not gonna listen to it because they are like so committed to the remix that is on top. So yeah, yeah, that's why I have mixed feelings here.
Yeah, I do struggle with this. I actually found it really difficult to write about because I realized that for most of what I listen to, I don't enjoy the remixes. But I do think sometimes, and we did mention it, and you've just mentioned it, they can add some value, they can add something interesting, but maybe that's a one-time thing. So if one artist takes it and it makes the track better, and we've got some of examples of that in the playlist that we put together, it's called the originals versus the remix, and you can find it in the article. So that's songsbrew.com. Look for remixes are lazy. Or you can find it on Spotify. You can find our profile on Spotify. We've got a bunch of different playlists and we've got a real mix on there. And some of them I actually don't mind. Like I like Megan Thee Stallion anyway. And she's got Savage. I listened to Savage before Beyonce was on Savage. I don't mind that. But I think it's because I don't class it so much as a remix. Because for me, it sounds almost identical. I think I class it more as a feature because Beyonce's got like her own bit in it, and I think I need more separation between
Yeah,
features, remixes, and that kind of stuff. And I just can't.
because they are like grouped in one section. Like if it's a feature, then it's still called a remix at some
Yes,
point.
it
And then
is.
perhaps that's why we have mixed feelings because it's not like full remix,
Mm.
like with the beats, etc. It just like added verses to the song with other artists. But yeah, music industry can be so weird sometimes.
Yeah, I think so. And we've kind of have this as a fan of any artist, if they put out a remix, you're kind of expected to enjoy it because it's part and parcel of their catalogue. And as a fan, surely you should really enjoy that. But I don't know if it's kind of like what we were kind of speaking about last week is are they taking advantage of the fans being so loyal by just releasing almost the exact same thing, just a little bit different, and they make money off all of them, obviously. Maybe that's very cynical.
Maybe I had this problem while listening to the Weekend Timeless, because I think that the original is with Playboy Carti, and then this song played on the gym, and I was like, oh, I like this song, I can like do exercises to it. And then I found out that it wasn't the Timeless song that I wanted to listen. It was with the Diochi feature on
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And I was like, no, God, no, please, no.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I like her as an artist, but I don't feel like she was needed in this song. Like,
Yeah.
it completely ruined my whole vibe to this song. And then I had to like stop and skip it because basically I didn't like it. I felt like it's not necessarily what should be in this song. I felt like maybe I will get canceled because of that, and like some fans might say that I'm stupid or whatever, but this song totally ruined the whole vibe of this song to me personally.
Yeah, I do understand. I think I do feel like I've been clickbaited. You know, when the start of the song is exactly the same, but then it goes
Yes,
into the remix,
yes,
and you think it's the
yes.
original, and you're like, fine, I'll leave it. And then somebody else is, and I'm like, wait a second. No,
This
absolutely
is
not. And
not
I'll
what I
turn
was
it up.
looking for.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
feel genuine disappointment. And I think maybe that has a bigger impact on how I feel about remixes in general. When I feel like I've been hoodwinked into listening to something
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to. It wasn't
Yeah.
my choice. I heard the intro, it sounded the same. And then as soon as they started singing, I'm like, this isn't it. So I'm like, turn it off.
Yeah, that really, it sucks. Let's be
Mhm.
honest, it sucks. Like, it's not your intent to listen to something that you don't want to listen, obviously. It's that simple.
I love to turn things off. I talk about it all the time. I love to turn things off. So when I hear the intro, I'm like, yeah, I know this one. And then it changes, but it's past my turn off, like the bit where I would skip it. I'm very disappointed. I think there is, so the Tovlo Stay High Habits, the Hippie Sabotage remix, I love.
Yeah, I do like it as well. Like, I think that remixes can be really great if they're creative, if they add the value, if they like shows the point and matches the vibe and just like shows all the emotions with the remix of the beats, then it's like totally on point and should be on the charts.
I genuinely love that one. And we've mentioned Tovlo a few times, so it's probably not a massive surprise that one of the remixes that would absolutely get a green light would be that one. The Cheerleader, we have this on the playlist. I've kind of got it in front of me, so I'm like glancing over. Cheerleader. I also like the remix.
I do like it. Yeah, totally. I think that the songs that we featured in our article, which you can find at songsbrew.com as well, I think generally, I think that all the featured remixes are better than originals.
Yes.
In the article, not in the playlist.
No, yeah, in the article, definitely not in the playlist, because I think the most beautiful thing about the playlist is that half of it is covering the tracks that we mentioned, the stuff that I think is passable and good remix in most cases. Maybe not the Maroon 5 one because of controversies and whatever else, but
Yeah.
it's a good example of how a remix can be put to a whole new audience, which I think is where the value lies in that one. And then the second half of the playlist, it completely is like in a completely different direction. There is some really, really terrible, pointless remixes on there. And I think that's probably makes the second half of the playlist more interesting because it forces you to go, actually, is this a needed one? It's probably not. There's a, yeah, definitely have a listen if you haven't already, and we'll put the link in as well so you can go and quickly
Yeah.
like thingy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really interesting one. And I also added like two Polish songs because I'm from Poland. And I think that we have this in our culture that we like remixing or using samples of other song and like putting also the lyrics of the original songs in our remixes. I'm not saying that all Polish music is like that, but nowadays with all the Gen Z culture as well, we have a lot of it. And I feel like nowadays the music created by the youths is not as good as it used to be. And I put it
No.
two remixes there, which I think are totally trash, but I don't know why people got hyped with them. And maybe there's something wrong with me, or I'm just used to different music genres as well. But I don't think they are good. And I also asked Zara, and she doesn't speak Polish.
No,
So
I
I
don't.
asked her for her opinion, and I think that you've got the same probably feelings as me.
Yes, I was see, when I first pressed play on it, I didn't really, I was like, I wonder where this is going to go. And then as soon as there was like, I think I mentioned about 1 minute 50, and I was like, oh my God. Like, no.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying that those artists are like bad or anything. I'm not a huge fan of them as well, but as being objective as I can be here, I genuinely think that they are not good. And I
Yeah.
think that people got hyped or overhyped with them because those artists are on top right now.
I think using samples in remixes and stuff, I think, and maybe I would have liked to go into more detail and talked about the nostalgia factor. They make a massive difference for people who already know the music. So if they're releasing something 20 or 30 years after, people from the when the original was released, they can hear that and it kind of hooks them in a little bit. It's like, come here, this is for you because you know this one,
Yeah.
while sticking with like a more Gen Z or whatever generation it is at that point music style. And I think that's sneaky.
It is. I think it is. I think I don't know if it's like lack of creativity or I don't know how to name it, but maybe the need to be on top um, using actually music that was on top, I don't know, 20 years ago or something. It can be also an inspiration and showing the respect to the original artist. So there are like two sides of the medal, but I do still feel like the originals should be left as originals. I mean, not all of them, but there are like some songs that shouldn't be touched ever.
Yes, I agree. I do agree with that. I think you make a really good point. There is two sides of it because
I mean, I don't mind covers or
yeah,
anything
oh,
like that,
I don't
but
like
I feel
covers.
like some songs should be just left as they were created, and that's it.
Yeah, out of respect for them, I guess.
Yeah.
But then I can't think off the top of my head right now, but I'm sure there's probably going to be an artist who remixed or added or something to an older song, but it was done out of like respect for the original artist and sounds closer to that one. I'm not really sure. Like we mentioned Despacito, do 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 do. I'm
Yeah.
sure it was that one. And apparently, as the story goes, and I don't know if it's true because the internet lies, Justin Bieber heard it and was absolutely obsessed with it, and he was in a club somewhere and he was like, I really have to do something with this one. And that was born from him and what's his name, is it Scooter Braun? Ugh, him. And they were like, oh, we have to do this, we have to do this. So they were so excited about it, and I think that's very cool. And then we also mentioned the Cure album, which is like an endless remix, and I don't know. And then also mentioned the Snow Patrol album. They did something called Reworked. Their fans didn't love it, and I think maybe the two sides of the coin that you're talking about, we can tell as an audience whether something was remixed or added to or whatever in a way that was respectful and because the artist actually likes it, or maybe it was just lazy and they're just trying to make some money off their already fans, or as you said, when they bring something all the way back, they just want that quick nostalgic, older people are listening to it, younger people are listening to it, and they kind of cash in a little bit
Yeah.
just for the sake of it. It's very cynical, but that is marketing and that is music marketing. And I think sometimes it pays to be a little bit more cynical. Like they probably didn't love this in this case. It's probably just to make money and get them
Yeah.
out there quick.
I mean, I think that we never learn the truth and we never find out what's like the motivation behind it, because I mean it's broken industry at some point that we could never actually know the truth, which is like also fine. You can't do anything with that and
It's
it's
true.
not gonna change anything.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the life. This is the life.
basically.
Yeah.
What do you think? I don't know if you have these a lot on your TikTok, but what do you think of the TikTok mashups and the little DJs and they're pulling random genres together and putting little mashups out? Like Thomas, we mentioned Thomas the Tank Engine and death metal because there's loads of them ones, but they pull all sorts of things. Like they've got Prodigy with like Baba Black Sheep in the background and like they pull it all together. What do you think of those?
I don't know, to be honest. It's difficult for me to say it. I mean, I think that it can be done good and it can be cool, but and it also sometimes reminds me about some of songs that I've used to listen to. and then I'm getting back to them. So I think that there is like some sort of value in here. But on the other hand, I'm like, it's not kind of my vibe. Yeah. So a lot of mixed feelings
I
about this issue today.
I have a confession to make, I guess then. I absolutely love 90% of the TikTok mashups and stuff that I hear. I feel like the how their brain works to find these two really different things and pull them together. And fair enough, it's very short, like 10 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever, and pull them together. And it's something I would never ever have thought of. I find that incredible. I think I value that skill, which is, yeah,
The skill, obviously.
more
Yeah,
more than
that's
some
for
of
sure.
the yeah, more than some of the radio push remixes. I feel like these people who are like, oh my god, I'm going to take the vocals from this and I'm going to take the track from that, I'm going to mix it together in a way that works as well. It's not just one layered over the other. They make it sound as if it was always that way, and it's really not. When you hear them, you're like, that shouldn't work, but it really does. I think I value that skill more than putting a short, like redoing a chorus or a verse on a song, or speeding something, because they also went through this process of slowing and reverbing songs. Sometimes I like it if they've added a massive amount of bass and it's like super high in the reverb. But again, I'm not sure if it has the same amount of skill as these TikTok mashup creators. I just love them.
Yeah, I mean, the skills are incredible. Like, I think that it's really difficult to actually do DJing and some kind of stuff. I've tried that, and I'm not gonna share my results.
Don't
No,
tell us if you're
no,
not going
no,
to
no,
share.
no, no, no. That was like, it was for fun, basically. We did it for fun. It was like mashing up some Polish rap songs with disco beats.
That's
Like,
exactly the talent that I'm talking about. I think you're
like,
putting two things.
do you know the remixes that always goes out during Christmas time with like some rap lyrics of the song and then just like this Christmas vibe music, etc.
Yes.
Yes, so we did something like that, but with Polish rap and disco.
That's actually
But that was
fantastic.
so bad. Like, that was for fun, and it was funny only to me and my cousins, which I was doing them with, and nobody else liked it.
You
But
should have
I
put it on
wasn't
TikTok.
doing it for any audience. I was doing it just for fun, for us to I don't know, play it on the party or something like that, just to have like fun and a lot of laugh. And it was funny actually, but only for us. And people were like, who the put this on the speaker, like turn it off. And I was like, oh, that's me. Thank you so much.
They're just like, get it off.
Yeah, exactly. But that was kind of fun, and I like getting back to them from time to time to just like have this memory of us doing stupid things and playing with some DJ programs on the laptop, basically without a DJ console. So that was a huge skill to actually mash it
Hello.
up.
I love it.
And then my boyfriend bought a DJ console and he was like playing with it, but he got so mad at some point, like after 3 or 4 hours or even more, because I was working whole day and he was like doing some things with the DJ console. And I asked him at the end of the day, did you mash up something? And he was like, no, I'm selling it off. I don't need it. And I was like, oh, so that means no.
But I think I think that proves the point. Like, there is a massive skill in it.
Yeah.
There's a big skill if you can master it. There's a big skill in it. But also, I mean, even now we've got loads of like AI tools and stuff, so we could probably put in 3 or 4 different songs and come up with something. It might probably make it easier than actually trying to do it. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
I think that once you learn it and how to use it and know the shortcuts on the console and laptop, and you have like a lot of songs in your playlist or in your just library, and you know how to mash them up, you know the beats, you have that like this listening taste as well, you know which one could work with the other one, then it's not that difficult. But I think that the hardest part is to like have this skill to mash it up, to just learn those things, how to actually do it so it sounds great. And I do think that you have to be at least a little bit talented.
Yes.
especially with your ears and the sound, somehow musically skilled. You have to be,
For sure.
and you have to have like this rhythm in your energy, and you have to just feel the rhythm, basically.
Yes, when you're, I think that's the biggest thing. That's like doing it manually is so different. But see, I've been contradicting myself this whole podcast because I'll say, oh, I like these three remixes, and say I don't like remixes in general. But I'll accept these two remixes, but I don't like remixes in general.
Yeah,
But
it's like that.
yeah,
That's
so
simple.
I do feel like if I was to sum this up, because I think we're like coming to the end of the thing. If I was to sum up some remixes, because I feel like they work better or I've heard them first, I think are fine. And then it's because I don't class them as remixes. In general, I find remixes can be very, very lazy and very, very pointless, both with very, very. So I need everyone to know it's serious. And I prefer features with all of the original aspects of the track with an additional artist over remixes. However, anyone can mash up and remix anything on TikTok and I'll accept it. That's my
Basically, to sum it up, I think it depends on who is behind the remix.
yeah.
Like in one sentence, it
Hmm.
depends who's behind the remix and what skills they have
Yeah,
as well. And the creativity here makes an impact as well. So there are
definitely.
like a lot of factors coming up together, and they're like important in doing this kind of stuff. And but on the other hand, I think it's also personal tastes. Like maybe
Yeah,
the remixes that we hate and we think that they are lazy, maybe other people would love them and
that's
would say
true.
that we are not knowing what we're talking about.
Yes. You are tasteless.
Yeah. So I think it all goes back to personal taste, your
Yeah, massively.
yeah, your listening habits as well, the things that you've used to listen, how you've been raised, and what music you've been listening to while being while growing up, being raised, and yeah, personal taste, basically.
Yeah, massively. Okay, so that's me firmly still on the fence, apparently. I've learnt nothing between writing the article and today. Still can't come up with something.
Yeah, I think I can say literally the same because I
Yeah.
cannot decide. At some point, I do hate remixes and I think they are lazy, but on the other hand, I love listening to some of them. So yeah, you have to keep the
Yes.
balance.
That's it. So if you have a remix that you absolutely love or you absolutely hate, we'd actually love to hear from you. So you can put that in a comment on the blog post, in the comments if you see this on socials, anywhere. We're happy to hear from you.
Comment section, social media. You can DM us on Instagram as well, or
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes. Okay, cool.
yeah.
Thanks for listening. I've been Zara.
I've been Julia, and I think that we can catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.